I don't know. I could do the Morris Day thing and look at my watch, except I'm not wearing my watch right now. It is time for another live episode of Student of the Gun Radio. Yes, indeed. The public broadcast gas panic winner. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. Yes, indeed. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Yeah, we've got a winner. We're going to talk about, we have a Duracoat Finished Firearm of the Week. And what else we're going to talk about? I don't know. Whatever it is, I feel like squealing. So listen up, kids, and pay attention to today's soon-to-be award-winning episode.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
All right. Hey, Jared, did you order one of those steel jerry cans?
I'm ordering a couple now.
I was going to say, because every time I've tried to order one, they're like, oh, it's out of stock.
It says they're on back order.
Yeah.
Availability 520, but I'm going to go ahead and put the order in so we get some.
So I went to the local hardware store yesterday, and I bought a replacement nozzle for the one gas can, and I bought some stable. They had it on the shelf. And they had one of those red 5-gallon cans like that I got at the garage sale. Guess how much they wanted for it?
$60.
$64.99.
Oh, wow. That's close.
On $64.99. I was like, I had one. And I was like, I'll go ahead and pass on that. But thank you. So, so your mom comes home the other day, and she hands me this little laminated card, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the football team, the Saratoga Panthers football team is selling these booster cards, right? So for $20, you get this card, and it has all these local businesses have volunteered to offer discounts to booster card holders, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the hardware store's on there, and the local gun store's on there, and Sweet Marie's is on there, and I think Lollipops is on there, and a bunch of places are on there. And I kind of, when she handed it to me, I flipped it over, and I kind of gave it a glance, and most of them give you a 10% off your purchase when you bring in the card, right?
Right.
I was like, oh, cool. She said, here, throw this in your wallet. Next time you're shopping in Saratoga, use it. All right. So I go to the hardware store, because the hardware store is listed on there, right? And I noticed because I saw the name, and I bring my purchase up to the counter. I set it down. I said, oh, I'm going to use my card today, my booster card. And the lady's like, okay, what does the booster card do? Because she had no idea. Obviously, he wasn't involved in that process.
Yeah.
So I pull it out, and I whip it out, and I look at it. It says, good for a free key.
That's funny.
They're like, really? Everybody else is giving 10% discount, and you cheap mofos, you cheap mother lovers, that's your thing.
Well, if you only get a like $10 item, then a free key might be 10%.
I was like, well, never mind then. The lumber place across the street, they had a discount thing. The building, or the do it all builders, whatever thing, they had. I'm like, Oh, and the shelves were bare again. The ammo shelves were bare again, with the exception of they had Winchester White Box 223, limit 2 per customer, and then they had the Hornady Critical Defense 9mm ammo for $34 a box. And you're like, oh, that's not bad for $50. No, the Critical Defense comes in boxes of 20. So you're like, 20 rounds for $34? That's more than $1 a shot. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And a couple of months ago, I could go in there, and they had all kinds of stuff on the shelves, and now it's back again. It's this up and down, up and down, up and down thing. I don't know. I don't know when it's going to stop and level off, but apparently not anytime soon.
Mhm.
Now, back in June, they had uh, the Hornady, the USA, whatever the brown box USA Patriot, whatever they call Hornady calls their practice ammo. And they had 223, and I asked him how much it was. And he's like, it's blank. And actually, it wasn't a bad price. It was less than $20 for a box. And I think it was like $12 a box or something like that, or $11.99 for a box of 20. And I said, what's the limit on them? And he said, no limit. So I bought 5 or 6 or something. So, oh, yes, things change. Things change. Facebook broke a rule, but we won't tell you what. But
Yeah.
we won't tell you what is that all about.
So, as you know, we still begrudgingly use Facebook because a lot of people are still on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so while we're doing the show, a lot of the time I'll go through the admin stuff, just check and see if, there's anything that needs approved or they yelled at us about for anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was doing that just now, and there was one that said, we've removed a piece of your content in the public group that goes against our community guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, what is it? I went and clicked, and, I clicked see details to see what the actual post was, to see if this was stupid or not.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of the post or the picture or whatever, it just says, we are unable to show content that goes against our community standards on dangerous individuals and organizations.
What?
Meaning that we have no idea what he actually posted. So they're basically saying, you broke a rule. No, you can't know which one.
Yeah. Well, it's like what's his nuts? Did we play the music yet?
Yeah, we played that already, right?
Oh.
Yes,
Did
yeah, we did.
Okay. We just been going, years, like his thing about YouTube and his YouTube channel, and YouTube saying you violated our community
It's
policy.
Yeah.
And he said, what was it? It was our community standards. Well, what standard? It was our standard.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know, but what exactly? You violated our community standard. Oh, now I understand. So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, Farfignugan. So we were able to be a blessing. Miss Nancy mostly was able to be a blessing to one of our neighbors. Apparently, Facebook and what is that thing that you have over where you live?
KSL.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
The-
KSL.
Is that your name? How did you remember when Puck went missing and we located him?
Next door.
Next door. Yeah. It's kind of like a Facebook local thing. But
Yeah, I there are too many Karens on there.
yeah, well, that's how you find your lost dog. So
Yeah.
it is good for one thing. It's good for finding lost dogs. And I so wish we would have saved that photo, that picture.
Which one?
The one of Puck, the shamed photo.
Oh, yeah.
We found this dog, and he was just sitting there looking confused and lost. We brought him home, and now he's sitting here looking contrite. And he looks so contrite. He's like, I know I screwed up. So yesterday evening, I'm in the living room. Nancy's back in her office. And I get up to go to the bathroom or something. I don't know. I walk through the living room, and I look out on the porch, and there's a dog on our porch looking in the front window. I'm like, well, hello. And Nancy loves dogs. So, which is funny because when we got married, she hated dogs, but now she loves dogs. Now she's the dog queen. I said, Nance, come look and see what's on our porch. And she goes, what is it? I said, come look. So she comes out there and she looks out the window, and this little red and white dog is sitting by our front door looking at it like it's its house. You know how your dog, when it goes outside and then it comes in and it sits down and looks at the door like, hey, you going to let me in or what? So Nancy opens the door and she goes, well, put Shigoki away. So I go put Shigoki away. And she opens the door and the dog just like comes bounding in. And it's like, hi, how are you doing? Right. So, and it's got a collar on. So and it's got a number on it. We call the number's out of service. But it had a vaccination tag. It said, hi, my name is Gypsy, and I was vaccinated on blah, 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 blah. Not against COVID, but against rabies, because that's what
Oh, dang.
that's what we need to start putting on humans. Is that the next step?
Mhm.
Where tags are on our neck.
Yep.
Hi, my name is Paul, and I was vaccinated on such and such date. But anyway, so we're okay. We thought, well, this is obviously someone's pet because we have it the chair over by the window. So she runs over there, the chair that Goki usually is in. So she runs over there, jumps up, and lays in the chair like it's her chair.
Goki's like, what are you doing?
Yes, no, we put him away because he's in the back. What's going on? So now we don't have a number. So what do? I said, well, if it's a lost dog, then someone probably reported it to the police department, or whatever. And so I sent the chief a picture of it in a text message that, hey, if somebody's looking for this dog, it's at our house. And he said, I'm sick. I'm not working today. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So
The
Nancy,
dog's still at our house, though.
yeah, still at her house. But if anybody calls you, so Nancy gets on the local Facebook, whatever, the local Saratoga, Encampment, Riverside Facebook group, and she puts a picture of it up, and says, "Hey, this dog showed up. If anybody's missing this dog, let me know." And within 15 minutes, the dog's owner messaged her mom.
Oh, wow.
Somebody else saw it and then forwarded that picture to the dog's owner, and the dog's owner contacted Nancy. So half hour later or so, they came to get it, and it was just she was walking through the house. She was hungry, so we gave her some food because she'd done, she gotten out of her yard and got lost, and couldn't.
How far away did these people live?
I think they lived in Riverside.
Oh, wow, that dog went far.
Yeah. So she got lost, and she couldn't find her way home because there's a lot of dogs in our neighborhood that just kind of wander around and they just wander home. So we let her out before all this happened. I said, well, let's see if she just goes home. And she wandered across the street to the museum, walked in circles, came back up onto our porch. I was like, okay.
She knew that your house was a safe haven.
Yeah, this dog doesn't know how to get home. So Nancy was able to be a blessing for that poor little dog's owner and to reunite her. So that was a good story. It was a good story. Yeah. You're just sitting there and you're like, hey, there's a dog on the porch looking in the window like, hey, what's up? And of all the houses in town, she would just walk up onto our porch.
Yeah.
It wasn't like she was just in the yard. She walked up onto the porch and sat down by the door. So this seems like there's a friendly aura around this house. I bet there's a woman in here who will have mercy and pity on me. He was right. All right. You guys want to talk about, shut up, I want to talk about guns. All right. Zach, play the gun theme. All right. Hey, we've got a Duracoat Finished Firearm of the Week brought to you by Duracoat University. If you'd like to find out more, you can go to DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com and follow the link that's in the show notes. What am I holding in my hot little hands this week? I am holding the Shockwave. That's right. When these first came out with the bird head grips, I thought, okay, that's interesting, but how practical is it? Then I realized that my good bro, Alex Bosco over there at SB Tactical, and his good bro, Jeff is the man with a mission over there at SB Tactical. And I said, you know what? We could make a brace for that. Like, you probably could, because you're smarter than the average freaking bear. So This is a 14-inch barrel, 12-gauge firearm, quote unquote firearm. Did I get into a shotgun? No, it's a firearm. I don't care if you call this thing Rumpelstiltskin. All right, you can call it Rumpelstiltskin if you want. Here's how it works: the receiver. If you look at that, that is a Mossberg 590 receiver. So it's a 590 receiver. It's got a 14-inch barrel. It holds I can't remember if it holds 5+1 or 4+1. I think it holds 4+1 of standard shells, and it holds 8+1 of the shorties.
When's the last time you actually put a standard shell in there?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think I've done it since I put the brace on it.
Why would you when you can use the shorties?
Yeah, you put the shorties in here, you get 8+1. So with the 14-inch gun, you start out with 9 shots. You're like, yeah, but those little 12 gauges don't do anything, do they? Yeah, they do. The Duracoat firearm finish on this is the World War II olive drab. And on one side, I have one of the skulls, which I got from Duracoat as their skull template. And then on the other side, I have the student of the gun template.
That's the gun tattoo, and you can get it if you go to DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com.
Yep. So as you guys probably have figured out by now, I'm really a big fan of the World War II olive drab green that you can get from Duracoat. So long story short, this gun went from being an interesting novelty to a crazy, super practical firearm. And you say, well, yeah, you already talked about this, Paul. I know about it. What's crazy to me, Jared, is we still, just recently, I saw someone post in one of the groups. I don't remember which one it was. They're like, what do you guys think about that shockwave thing? Is it actually, practical, or is it just a range toy? Like, where have you been? Like, what rock have you been living under? I've been yakking about this thing until people are like, shut up about it, Paul. We get it. The shockwave is the fashizzle. And it is the fashizzle. And if you've never tried one, you say, well, why don't you just go ahead and order a short-barreled shotgun from Derp-a-Derp? Yeah, I'll do that. And then it'll sit for a year on a shelf waiting for my permission slip to come from His Majesty the King. Or I could just do this and get around all that His Majesty the King tax stamp crap. So that's what we did. We as American entrepreneurs got around the His Majesty the tax stamp crap. So and I'm sure the king doesn't like that, but fornicate the king. That's what the hound said. Right, Zach?
Yep. That's what he said in that show that no longer exists.
That's right. The show that no longer exists.
That is true. It just kind of went away.
Best quotes from that whole entire program was, she said, well, what about the king? And he said, fornicate the king. I said, you're right. You are correct, sir. Oh, if you guys go over to Mossberg's website, they have the shockwaves in 12. They have them in 20, and they have them in 410, I think still. 410 is about as popular as Jock Itch right now. The 20s are okay, but the reason that you would want the 12 is because the 12, it's just more utilitarian. And the mini shells now, I am obligated to remind you that if you want to run the mini shells, what you do is you go and get a little adapter. You get a little adapter from what's the name of it? OpsTac. I always screw it up. Opsol. OPSOL. Operational Solutions. They're in.
Oh, yeah.
And these make the mini shells run like nobody's business. Okay. You cannot run the mini shells in a standard 870. You're like, yeah, you can. No, not really. Not without them. There, just fall on the floor. So yeah, the shockwaves are really if you put the brace in, SP Tactical has 2 different kinds of braces. They have kind of a skeletonized minimalist one, and then they have the one that I've got right there. Either way, I don't care. I don't care what you do. Now, they work with just the bird head grips? Yeah, they do. They work with the bird head grips just fine. Do they work better with a stabilizing brace on them? Yes. They work way better with a stabilizing brace. And if you've got one of the Remington versions, the TAC 14 or whatever they call it, the Remington ones are more expensive and they're a pound heavier because the receiver is steel. You're like, that's what I want. I want a steel receiver. Drive on, brother. If you've got more money and more muscle to tote it around, awesome. But here's the thing: the receiver takes almost no abuse. So, an aircraft grade aluminum receiver is fine. The Marine Corps has been using the 590 for 590A1, I think, with the bayonet lugs and all that since I was in the Corps, so going on 30 years, and they run them hard and they're fine. So I would highly recommend to you. Now I hate this world we live in, Jared. I have to do the asterisk caveat thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I got mine, they were sale priced at $299. They were normally priced at like $349.99. And on sale for $299. I have no idea what they're going for now. Now, last summer, when people had lost their ever-loving minds, they were listed for crazy prices like $799. I would walk up and kick you right square in your balls before I'd give you $700 for a Shockwave. Okay. And if you pay $700 for a Shockwave, I'd tell you you're a nutball. There's no way
you can get them on Gunbroker right now for $600, so they're a lot less expensive than they were before.
$100? Are you kidding, Gunbroker? Come on.
There's another one for $155.
What is it?
Mossberg 590 Shockwave 12 gauge 14.37 barrel Raptor grip Mossberg.
Really?
Yeah.
It's used. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
FFL is required. So yeah, it's the current bid is 155, so it's still open for bidding.
Oh. Yeah. All right. I just went to guns.com and they still are listed for stupid prices. And I'm sorry for you guys who just are now discovering this. And you're like, well, I wanted to get one of those. But if you spend, this is what I'm going to tell you. If you spend $800 for a Shockwave, you got more dollars than cents. Because
you're not going to have any ROI on that.
Yeah. So as much as I like that gun, there is no way on God's green earth that I would give you $800 for one. If you're going to spend $800, go out and get a freaking hell. Their AR-15s now listed for less than $800. There's a company called Black Aces Tactical that's making similar products. There's one for $430 from Black Aces Tactical, listed on guns.com right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I would actually buy that before I would buy the other one. But you say, well, all right, that's cool. However, how many of you guys know dudes that are constantly trading guns? A lot of you do. A lot of you guys know dudes that are constantly trading guns. And dudes are always buying guns and then running out of money and having to trade guns. So that's when is like, hey, man, what do you give me for the Shockwave? I'll give you a 5-gallon can of gasoline. Sold.
That's funny.
Did you see my lumber post, Jared?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I posted a thing on Facebook of the lumber that I've got there, all the seasoned 2x4s. And I said, I'll trade it for a Scar Heavy or an M1A.
Oh, that's funny.
I know what I've got. No lowballing. No lowballing. I know what I've got.
I love how that's become a meme, by the way.
Yeah.
I know what I've got.
Yep, I know what I got. No lowballing me. All right. So there you go, cats and kittens. You say, well, I've already got one of those, so I'm good to go. And you're like, I bet you are. So what you can do is go to Duracoat Firearm Finishes, get whatever you want. And if you've got one that's like a multicolored or, it's black or if it's just like regular blue guns are fine. but regular blued guns will rust. If you don't continuously apply oil to them, they will rust. So what you do is you strip it down, Duracoat it, and you forget about it. And it'll be good to go. So
Get some of that oil.
Yeah. So, all right. So moving on. And you know what I need to do, Jared? I need to actually, I unloaded that because I was showing people and I was demoing it. So I unloaded it all. I need to load it back up and put it in the truck when I go out. That's
I like that.
my close-up gun.
That's one of my favorites.
Wait, it's a squirrel killer. It's a ground squirrel killer. Well, it's a ground squirrel killer. It's a prairie dog killer. It's a jackrabbit killer. That gun has been blooded many, many times. All right, Duracoat, we just talked about those freaks. Support them because they're good people, because life is too short
to have an ugly gun.
Yes, indeed. And Crossbreed Holsters, if you go to crossbreedholsters.com and use the promotional code SOTG. So let me tell you about what I did on Mark's show. You know how Crossbreed is one of his sponsors too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was on live with Mark yesterday, and we were talking about something. Oh, he's talking about in Atlanta, how thieves were breaking into cars and stealing guns, and the police in Atlanta were blaming the gun owners, not the criminals, because that's what you do. It's the gun owner's fault, not the criminal's fault. Criminals can't help themselves. And I said, well, first of all, the gun shouldn't be stashed in your car. It should be attached to your body. All right. And if you want a gun attached to your body, I said, go to Crossbreed. I said, I'll give you a plug, Mark. Go to crossbreedholsters.com and get a quality holster. And he says, yeah, you can use the promo code AAR14 or AAR17 or AAR whatever. And I was like, or you can use the promotional code SOTG.
That's funny. But by the way, if for those of you that don't know, Mark's show is called Armed American Radio, and you can check that out there. Dad's been a guest on there a few times, so you can go.
A couple times. And so he laughed and he said, all right. He said, for today only, my audience, go to Crossbreed and use the promo code SOTG and support Stephen of the Gun.
That's funny.
Oh, he had a different producer yesterday. I don't know where Greg was, but he had a different producer yesterday. So if you guys go to crossbreedholster.com and you want to get a good holster, a good belt, good whatever, support those guys, family-owned company, and use the promo code SOTG. All right. Brownells, we remind you constantly what's going on at Brownells. They have sales and discounts and new products. Sign up for their newsletter, and you will never miss a beat. That's basically it. So go to brownells.com, follow them, and you won't regret it. All right, Zach, remind our new listeners what they should do.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Bum, bum, bum. Yes, you can. And if you went to shopsotg.com and if you pre-ordered a copy of this book right here, the Patriot Fire Team Mission Planner, if you pre-ordered an autographed copy, I am pleased and excited to tell you that they arrived here. I signed them, boxed them back up, and put them on a FedEx truck back to Zachary in Salt Lake. So he will get them, and he will individually send them to you, and you will have your books very, very, very soon. So that's the good news. It's the good news. And also, if you guys don't want a signed copy, or like, I don't care about signed copy, just go to Amazon. Get it on Amazon. There you go. We have a winner. Ding, 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 ding. We got a winner in the Gas Panic, the nationwide. Well, it's not really nationwide. It's East Coast.
East Coast Gas Panic.
People weren't panicking out here. As a matter of fact, the price of gas went down in Saratoga.
Here too, it's like $3.18 or something now.
It's $3.19 in Saratoga. I paid $3.19 for 100% real gas.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it wasn't. It was just the bottom of the barrel. What was $3.18 here?
So we got a story from WTHR Channel 13. We're not sure if they're on your side or not, but we'll find out. Dateline, 13 May 2021.
Yep. Says, of course, this was out of Florida. Says Hummer hauling gas cans bursts into flames in Florida. One person was hurt. Homosassa?
I think it's Homosassa. Homosassa?
I've never been there. A Hummer hauling gas cans burst into flames Wednesday morning in Citrus County. Firefighters were dispatched just before 11 a.m. for the fire at South Alabama Avenue and West Grover Cleveland Boulevard in Homosassa. Citrus County Fire Rescue said that the back of the 2004 Hummer H2 had just been loaded with 4 5-gallon gasoline containers. Gasoline containers. I don't know what kind they were because it doesn't say in the story. The gas had been purchased at the nearby Texaco Food Mart. Firefighters managed to extinguish the flames within 10 minutes. That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time for a car to be on fire, but okay.
One person was injured but refused to be taken to the hospital. He's like, I'm fine. The Florida State Fire Marshal was on scene to conduct an investigation, and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection was notified and will coordinate cleanup of the fuel spill. The official cause of the fire remains under investigation. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission on Wednesday warned people about the safe storage of gasoline. You can read more guidance here.
All right, can I make a bet? Can I make a bet?
Go ahead.
I want to make a bet right now that this fire was caused by somebody lighting a cigarette.
No, I doubt. It's the roads. It's on the street. You think they were smoking inside of the vehicle?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think their car was full of stuff, and one of them was like, "All right, let's go home." Spark up.
That's a good. That's probably it.
Right. You could be right.
Yeah.
And when they say containers, notice it didn't say gasoline cans. It said containers.
It says gasoline containers.
Yeah. So that could be Home Depot buckets.
Yeah. Well, no, those aren't gasoline containers.
Well, they're not. But if they were normal, if they were the normal, like 5-gallon jerry cans like we have, those are sealed. You guys understand that there's a reason they make gas cans the way they do. They make them so that the gas fumes don't escape into your vehicle or your garage or your shed or whatever.
Unless you have one of the old, nozzles. The old nozzles that work very well, they don't keep the fumes in.
Well, they have caps on them. The old nozzles have caps. I mean, of course, if your cap wasn't there. But here's the deal. I've known, this is crazy. When I was 9 years old, I mowed our lawn. We had a half-acre worth of grass when I was 9 years old. And it used to take me about an hour or so. And when you're 9, an hour of lawn mowing is like
forever.
Pushing a rock up a hill, you know. You're like Schwarzenegger pushing the freaking mill around, you know. And Conan the Barbarian, that's what you feel like.
Yeah.
But guess who filled the lawnmower with gasoline?
Your parents.
No, me. My dad showed me how to do it. Like, my dad took me out in the garage, and he's like, okay, this is how you do it, right? Put the gas, we store the gas over here. This is how we store it. And that was back when, in the old days, when you had aluminum gas cans, right? And the spout, you unscrewed it, flipped it over, stuck the spout inside of the can, and put the cap back on the top. And that sealed the can. And you guys are like, what kind of voodoo magic are you speaking of, Paul Markle? Yeah, you knew where the spout was because it was flipped, it was inverted, and it was inside the can. Then you unscrewed it, pulled it out, flipped it over, and did your thing. You're like, what? This is crazy talk. Yeah. So when I was 9 years old, I knew how to properly store and use gasoline. 9. We have fully grown adult humans walking around on planet Earth today that don't understand these basic concepts. I was at our local, I was at the Sinclair station filling up, and I walked in. I said to the lady, I said, well, I was going to fill up. I was going to throw some Rubbermaid tubs on the ground and fill those with gas. And she looked at me. She's like, yeah. She's like, I know. She said, I see these idiots on Facebook and, doing that. And I said, where are the gas station attendants while this is going on? Because on our pumps, it says it is unlawful to dispense motor vehicle fuel into unapproved containers. Unlawful, right?
That makes people want to do it, especially in Florida.
And so, and the clerk at my station, she goes, if somebody pulled up here and tried that, she goes, I'd shut the pumps off.
Yeah.
Because they all have that magic red button right next to them, right? If you stood next to your car with a gas nozzle and just started squirting it on the ground, the people inside would hit the red button and shut the pumps off, right? But if you throw a Rubbermaid tub on the ground and start squirting gas into a Rubbermaid tub or plastic garbage bags, everyone's like, oh, that was just one time. That was one photo, Paul. And that happened 10 years ago. Or no, there are literally dozens of different photos floating around of people putting gasoline into plastic bags. Where in the world?
And that, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter if it was this year. It's still stupid if it was done 10 years ago.
It's still moronic.
Yeah.
But people are trying to say, oh, that was just one case. That was like one single case. You can't, no, it's not. And you're like, well, what are the clerks supposed to do? Hit the red button and shut the freaking thing off. When Johnny Dumb Fart, I know we're public. When Johnny Dumb Fart pulls up with a pickup truck or a flatbed trailer with one of these irrigation tanks, these white plastic irrigation tanks, and he wants to fill that thing with gasoline, hit the red button and shut it off. And he comes in and he's like, oh, hey, man, my pump's not working. Yeah, because I'm not going to let you pump gasoline into a water tank, you mongoloid. And ladies and gentlemen, you say, well, Paul, you've been saying for years that people should store gas. Yeah, I have. Because what we do is when everything's normal, you
need this. You need a 55-gallon plastic. No, I'm just kidding. You need enough gas stored for one fuel tank for each of your cars.
One tank.
You have a full tank plus your storage fuel. Or depending on where you are and what you're doing. If you're in Texas and your like quote unquote bug out location is farther away, then maybe you need more gas. But you need enough gas to get out of wherever you are, if you're in the city, out of the city to somewhere else, and that's all you need.
Yeah. Well, and here's the deal. If you don't have somewhere to go, you're just a refugee. Like, if you don't have a specific place to go, like already in mind, ready to go to, then you just become a refugee. You're just wandering around like hoping someone's going to save you. And that's not the way to do it. But this insane nonsense with people filling up Home Depot buckets and Rubbermaid tubs and garbage bags and, I don't know, milk jugs or whatever. It's retarded. It's ridiculous. And they're filling up with ethanol. Or with not ethanol, with the corn oil gas, right?
What if it's 100% gas?
But if great on them, but I doubt it. Here's the thing: all these idiots, they're not.
I was just about to say the people that need like fuel storage for farms would never put it in a container like that.
No, and people who have farms already have bulk containers on their farms.
Right.
They don't put it in plastic water jugs. Clear plastic water jugs or whatever. But, it is in this Hummer bursting into flames. This is just the first of many.
Let's say, Zach, you had a pretty good supposition there.
What's that about the smoke?
About the cigarette. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I'm trying to figure out because the story doesn't say that it says gasoline container.
Mhm.
So I assume that that's like made for gasoline.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. It doesn't say what happened, and maybe they probably never will.
Yeah. And who knows?
But cigarette, that's good supposition, Zach.
Yeah. Fuel containers are supposed to be like fume proof, right? Uh, Lord in heaven, I don't understand. And all these imbeciles taking Home Depot buckets and Rubbermaid tubs and God knows what, and they're going to stick them in their garages or whatever. I guarantee you, as the future rolls on, garages are going to burn down, houses are going to burn down, people's sheds are going to burn down because they've got these unapproved containers that were not designed for fuel, spewing gas fumes into wherever. Maybe they'll come home and they'll take them, they'll put them in their basement next to their put it. I know where you guys should, all you guys putting fuel in Home Depot buckets, make sure you store them right next to your hot water heater. That's no. Paul, why would you tell people to do that?
I just Googled, is a Home Depot bucket safe for gas?
I know the people at Home Depot are like, stop doing that. Oh, Lord in heaven. And for all of us that have actually been legitimately, thoughtfully preparing ourselves and our homes and our families for years, we look at these people like, you just reactionary mongoloids. It's the same people 24 hours before the hurricane hits that are in Walmart fighting over the last can of beans, fighting over candles, fighting over bread, fighting over milk, panic buying. That's why Alan Lair got on in one of the forums and he said, look, he goes, we've been doing this for years. We buy it, treat it, and then after so long, we rotate it out, replace it, treat it, rotate it out, replace it, treat it. Because I don't know what's going on. And if it was just people being smart and topping off their cars, there wouldn't have been a crisis and there wouldn't have been a shortage. But it's these idiots. And my question is, Jared, where are people coming up with the disposable income to buy $200 worth of gas at a shot? You know what I mean? Because they're not giving it away. They have to pay for it.
Right.
On the East Coast, you have to pay for your gas before you pump it. Where I am, you pump it first and then you pay for it. Like, what?
Yeah, I know. It's like a
What?
nostalgic. Remember in Millersburg when that was a thing, and then you go back and it's different now. You have to pay before you pump.
Yeah. Well, you used to just pull up and a guy would pump your gas for you. This is just ridiculous. It's freaking retarded, and it's an example. If you don't, right now there isn't a genuine shortage. The only reason that there was a shortage was because idiots ran out and did this. No one said don't fill your tank up. No one said that. And if you're waiting until the crisis to prepare or to buy stuff, that's the wrong time. How many years have we been talking about this, Jared? Like literally since we turned these microphones on. Since we turned these microphones on, we've said things like, hey, when you go to the store, buy an extra couple of cans of whatever and just set them aside. And then do it in 2 weeks, and then do it in 2 weeks, and then do it in 2 weeks. And before you know it, a couple of months goes by, and now you've got a bunch of extra food stored in your cupboard. I said same thing with ammo. It said, look, what did we say when we were during the great crazy Comrade Barry lunacy? I said the best way to store ammo is every paycheck buy 2 boxes of whatever. Whatever it is, whatever your favorite flavor is.
A little bit at a time.
And then just put it in a can and you'll be good to go. You won't have to worry about it. So when other people are panicking, you won't have to. When other people are freaking out, you can excuse yourself from that.
I'm sorry, I got lost in a thread from 2020 where somebody on ARFCOM was asking if it's safe to store gasoline in 5-gallon buckets.
So I just want to throw this out there real quick. What you were saying, Dad, earlier about how people at Home Depot are like, stop that. I want to place another bet. What are the odds that somebody is going to freaking try and press suit against Home Depot
To
for
Home
the
Depot.
for the unsafe storage of gasoline in Home Depot buckets?
I hope they do. I hope they do.
Stupid people.
I hope they do.
I'm a gambling man today. I don't know why.
You what?
I'm a gambling man today. I don't know why.
Oh yeah. You willing to bet?
Oh well, in the
That's
thing-
it's like trying to sue Glock for somebody getting shot by their gun.
yeah, because the gun went off.
Yeah.
It's when you push that curvy thing backwards, it's supposed to go off. That's its job.
It functioned as designed.
Yeah. There's this thing, it's curvy, looks like a half moon, and it's called a trigger. And when you push it backwards, the gun is supposed to make noise. That's its job.
Yeah.
If the gun didn't make noise, then it would be defective.
I kind of feel bad for the people that are trying to store the gas in buckets and bags and whatnot, because that means that somebody in their life, their parents, whoever, didn't teach them that wasn't something you should do. And it's very worrisome.
Well, you know what it is? It's how far in are we, Zach?
About 46 minutes.
Okay. What it is, and I believe this goes back to every piece of information you should possibly want is on the internet, so we don't need to teach people anymore.
Yeah.
We don't spend time.
Yeah, but the people, at least the pictures that I've seen, are like adults
Oh yeah, they're adults.
that their
But
parents probably didn't think about the internet teaching their kids. I don't know.
But the internet's been around for 25 years, so
Yeah.
if you were 12 when the internet came out, you're 37 now, so you're an adult.
Oh, geez.
Wow,
that's true.
Yeah. So
I'm getting old.
it's just this failure of society. It just gets dumber and dumber. Things you're like, Paul, or not everybody grew up on a farm like you. I was raised in Detroit and in a suburb of Detroit. When I was 9 years old, I knew the dangers of gasoline. I knew not to, I knew, hell, when I was 9, I knew you don't store paint rags and stuff next to the freaking hot water heater because the pilot light will set off the fumes. I knew that when I was a little kid. How do fully grown adult humans not know?
Did you know that there are tankless water heaters now that no longer have a pilot light?
Tankless?
Yep, tankless water heaters.
What is
That's
it?
we have here? It takes a little bit longer to get hot, but it'll run hot water until you shut the water off.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that was a thing.
But regardless,
Tankless? That's funny.
Well,
No, I was thinking about the bucket thing, and I was like, well, I mean, it is made out of the same material, so somebody that wasn't taught about the fumes and whatnot and the seals, they could think, oh, it's made out of the same material, so it should be fine. And that's when I'm like, man, that's somebody failed them in their life. Actually, everybody failed them up to the point where they put that thing in a bag because their parents or whoever they grew up around didn't teach them. The gasoline clerk didn't stop them from doing it. I'm like, somebody help these people.
Yeah. Who's running these gas stations? And who's not shutting the pumps off when these idiots, are doing this?
Yeah.
They're like, well, they're just minimum wage employees. What do you want them to do? I don't know. It's their responsibility. When you're running a gas station, it's your responsibility. So if me and and like 4 other models decide to have a gasoline fight, you're just going to let it go on? Nobody's gonna touch that one.
Nope.
Oh no, I got it.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just gonna let it go.
Want to have a gasoline fight? The guy inside's just going to let it go on.
Well, but if the pool is made out of an approved container, then I think it'll be fine.
Oh, do you hate a bug?
The good news is there are approved containers, of which I already placed my order, and they are on back order. Though it says estimated available date is 5/20, which is 3 days after the release of this episode. So then they're at sportsmansguide.com. There's a link in the show notes. If you want them, go there and order them. It's a very good price. It's less expensive than I've seen anywhere else, other than like a
Garage
garage
sale.
sale or something. Yeah.
And they were brand new. They'd never been used. All right. Oh, you know what I saw that was really cool? People were like, "Oh, they're going to gasoline thieves." Guy had just a picture of a red gas can and a yellow nozzle, and he says, "I filled this up with sugar and water and set it up in my garage, and we're gonna just wait and see what happens."
We're gonna wait and see if anybody takes it.
And if you want to steal from me, it's like that. I 100% support that. 100% support that. And somebody else said, "Oh, siphon, siphon." Have you tried siphoning gas out of a vehicle lately? The way that it's not easy. It's not easy.
I got one of these things for the kerosene heater.
Mhm.
I have a manual pump just in case I run out of batteries or whatever. So I have a manual pump, but I also got this battery operated pump that you just shove in the thing and you hit the button and it just sucks it out. Like that was super easy.
Yes, indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, thank you very much for joining us for today's episode of Student of the Gun Radio. I truly appreciate it. We will be back on Wednesday. Build your own gun. Yeah, that's right. We're going to talk about building your own gun. Probably the most American thing that you can do. We will have we'll have a homeroom for you and more fun and frivolity. So make sure that you're tuning in every single day. Until then, remember, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.
All
All
right.
right. I need about 5 or so. Go get another drink and
Yeah, I need to refill my coffee.
All right. So we'll say about 5 minutes, and then we'll be back.
let's do 10:25.
10:25. Oh, okay. 10 minutes. See you then. And we're back, kinda. Faja.
Yeah, I'm back. I said
Okay,
I was.
cool.
What do you mean?
I didn't hear you.
I said, let the record show that I was here on time.
Well, the music was still playing, and I wasn't here, so take that.
Oh, okay. So you're playing the Good Behavior Party theme song.
Sure. Let's go with that. No response, then you don't get to come in, fucker. I was just checking the...
Corey Taylor shares details of socially distanced and COVID-safe 2021 tour. Corey Taylor announced a 2021
Slipknot.
COVID-safe tour that will follow state-recommended guidelines.
Slipknot Corey Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Neat. Good for him. Oh, fuck off.
Okay.
So basically, a guy from the Mortal Kombat movie that just came out called out Amazon's Lord of the Rings show for lack of diversity. Fuck yourself. I mean, we're still in public, but this isn't the real public. This is like the in-between, so it's like a Wild West out here.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't, though, but still.
Last year, he auctioned off a guitar on eBay, raising $150,000 for COVID relief. But my big question is, who gets that money?
Someone, probably.
Yeah, like, what is a COVID relief? We're so far down the fucking rabbit hole right now. I don't know.
I may be
know.
going into research.
No.
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that. But the good news is there's a story out there where Corey Taylor did a benefit show for Star Treatments.
Cayenne in their coffee? Oh, good for them. Cayenne pepper. You ever put cayenne pepper in your coffee?
No, I've not done that.
Jeff just asked that, and that's a weird thing.
Who's Jeff?
Albright.
Oh, cayenne pepper in your coffee?
I mean, he said cayenne. I'm assuming it's cayenne pepper, like the red crap you get out of a glass jar.
Well, what other kind of cayenne is there?
I don't know, but I'm thinking, like, why would you put cayenne pepper in your coffee? It's not like cinnamon.
Oh, why would you put stripper in your coffee?
Nah.
Why would you put True Strip in your coffee?
For fun.
Doesn't make sense.
Ow.
So, anywhooser, did you see I don't know, did I share the message with you? I talked to
Potentially.
Matt the other day. He's currently in Vegas,
Which Matt?
Dorito.
Cool.
He's in Vegas with Corey Taylor, and they're rehearsing because he's going to go out on tour with them for 6 weeks.
Oh, good for them.
He's going to go pluck the bass with Corey Taylor for 6 weeks. Unfortunately, they will not be anywhere near us.
He's in Vegas, isn't he?
That's not near us. And they actually don't have a concert in Vegas.
Oh, lame.
'Cause Corey Taylor lives there.
Puppies.
Like, that's his home. They're going to be in Arizona, and they're going to be in Dallas, and they're going to be in the closest place to us are going to be is Lincoln, Nebraska, which is still
Pretty
6
far.
hours.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, God.
But I just looked up the announcement and it said they're going to be COVID safe, socially distanced concerts, and so yeah,
Good for
you
you.
can eat a giant bag of dicks with that stuff. Yeah.
Kansas
I'm not
City.
playing that shit anymore.
Hey, Kansas City.
I'm over that.
Yeah. Two things. One, speaking of COVID social distancing, we finally hit a cool milestone at my gym last night.
Oh, what's that?
The last person who'd been wearing a mask to class finally took off their mask.
Wearing a mask during
Yes.
their work.
Yeah, she'd been wearing a... It occurred to me, it's like last night was the first time I'd ever seen her not wearing a mask. Because she's been going there since before I started going there in
Psycho.
August. And yeah, last night was the first night I ever saw her without a mask on. So good for her.
Fucking
And also, did you know
Mhm.
that you should not put diesel in a Prius?
unless it's a fucking diesel Prius.
which don't exist.
Don't exist.
A tweet from some pretty white girl, so that tells you a lot what you need to know. Guys, do not use diesel on a Prius or any other car that doesn't take it. The station ran out of gas, so I used diesel since I figured it'd just make my engine louder. It does not make your engine louder. My car broke down. I'm waiting on AAA. Who makes that correlation? It's like, oh, diesel's the same thing. It just makes your car louder. What?
You know that the diesel pump, that the spigot is wider. That, you know what that means? That means they had to just stick it up to the thing.
Up against it.
Up against it and force the fuel through the flap. These people shouldn't. Well, it's okay because they all took the vaccine. They're all going to get sick and die in the next year.
Hopefully it wasn't her dad's. Hopefully it wasn't her mom's Prius.
That's crazy.
Did you know you can't just put diesel? I thought it would just make my car louder. How? We're literally living in a nation with fully grown toddlers.
Yeah, people are dumb. DUMM dumb.
Yeah. And they'll probably sue Toyota.
There's probably a thing on the gas
Let's
cap
do the
that
gas
says
station.
do not use.
They sue the gas station for not stopping them.
Probably.
Well, no one stopped me.
How was I supposed to know?
They ran out of gas, so I just put diesel on it. Remember what you were, you said diesel prices were over by you, Zach? $6 something a gallon?
Yeah. Although to be fair, I've driven around. It was just those, like, it was one gas station.
Oh.
But still.
To be fair, that's actually $3.29 in Saratoga. Diesel is. So.
You're a diesel.
All right, I'm ready to squawk when you're ready to hit the button. So let's do this.
All right, give me just a moment. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Gmail.com. I need to resend that label to Mom. Guys, I might send it to the wrong address because I tend to type out her thing wrong. Boop-a-doop-a-doo.
Yeah, take care of that.
New label.
So, Jared.
You guys talk.
Yeah. You know what might have happened with that diesel thing, Jared? Remember there were the Maymays out telling millennials and Democrats that the green pump is environmentally friendly gas, and they should put that in their cars and stuff.
Oh, no. I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. It was last year.
That's funny.
Last year, they're like, just so you guys know, all of you liberal Democrat millennials, the green handle is environmentally friendly, and you should put that in your car. Yep, that's right. That's what it is.
Hey, remember back when we lived in Mississippi and the BP, was it you or Mom? The guy who was inside yelling about how the pump was green. It's green because he put regular gas in his diesel.
Oh yeah, because it was a BP.
Yeah.
It was formerly a BP, so all of the handles were green.
Yeah, and then it became a not BP.
Something independent.
Yeah.
XYZ gas station. Yeah. Yeah, the Mexican guy. He's like, it's green, but it's green. But it's a green. I'm like, yeah, I know. So there you go. If you read the English language, D for diesel. See what happens when you just go by colors and don't read English?
That's funny. Green.
But it's green. I know. Thank you for pointing that out. It also doesn't say diesel on it. It also says 85 octane gasoline. Now, which is it? If you put gas in a diesel engine, it'll run, but it'll run crappy.
Correct.
If you put diesel in a gasoline engine, it ruins it.
That's correct, what you just said.
Yeah. So if you have a diesel engine and you accidentally put gas in it, what you do is you just throw diesel in on top of it and run it out.
Or just run it out irregularly. She probably thought it was biodiesel. Yeah, you're right. All right. Doop-a-doop-a-doo.
Binary diesel?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Goes both ways. All right. Whenever you're ready.
One second, gotta update the title of the episode and push. And if you both are content, then Dad,
Don't forget to take the loop off.
I will take the loop off. Dad, you can go ahead and start us off in 3, 2.
Welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday's episode of Student of the Gun Radio. I am your host, Paul Markle, and I'm excited to speak to you today. Yes, indeed. We always have, on Wednesdays, we have a Brownells Bullet Points. Today is no different. We have a Q&A session. If you're listening live, drop your Qs in the comment section, and we'll monitor them as the time goes by. We have a Student of the Gun Homeroom brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters, and then we're gonna dovetail. We've got two things to talk about during the homeroom, so because things are changing and opening up here in our country again. On that and whatever else it is we want to talk about. So close that hole under your nose.
Yep.
Open
Remember, the rules are simple.
What are they? Just listen.
No, you have to mask or vax.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Vaxxed or mask.
Yeah. You want to?
Pull that pin and throw that right there for you.
All right, Zach, play the music, please.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
All right. Yes, we already talked about the Q&A. So if you happen to be watching live on Facebook or YouTube or in the Discord channel, Discord, yes. Oh, speaking of socialist media, is your parlor effed, or do I just need to empty mine?
It was effed. Apparently, they did a big update, so you just need to sign back in at this point.
So you have to go out and sign back in.
Yes, I think they rejiggered how the URL works, because the shortcut that I had to get to the SOTG parlor didn't work, so I had to delete it, go back to the page, and make a new shortcut. Yeah. Ever since Amazon decided to go all frickin' what's his name, Winston?
Oh, 1984 on us.
So they go all 1984 on them. They've been super jacked up, which isn't really their fault, but still.
Yeah. We're not going to allow people to read and know things that we don't want them to know. Because, yeah, that's something I was talking about with Mark yesterday on the radio. I said, how is it that people who are supposed to be school-trained journalists who do it for a living, went to college, got out, got jobs with journalism degrees, and they can't ask really super simple basic questions? They just sit there, nod their heads, and absorb what they're told. It's amazing to me. How is it that school-trained journalists who are supposed to be part of the Fourth Estate are okay with big tech censorship?
Because that's absolutely not what they're taught nowadays.
They're okay with big tech censorship. They think that's our.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sure that nowadays they're taught that big tech is the ones who are in charge, and so what they say goes.
Oh, okay. Is that how it works now? Is that how it works in the world?
I guess.
Oh, I guess. Anywho, I wasn't planning on talking about that. Yeah. Oh, no. I got distracted because somebody sent me a picture. It was just not right. It was about a cop doing it doggy style. And you're like, whoa, that's nasty. No, it was actually a cop who just shot someone's dog. Oh. Yeah, apparently they're giving out.
Back to the notes.
They're giving out
Stop distracting yourself.
Brownells Bullet Points brought to you by whom? By Brownells. All right, Brownells Bullet Points. You say, why are we on this topic? Well, I just decided to go, before I did the show, obviously, to Brownells, and I was looking at some of their new products, and they have a new products, and they also have a a sale and clearance aisle, sale and clearance aisle. Yeah, everything's marked with yellow tags. But they had an aluminum chassis. For those of you that don't understand what by the use of the word chassis for firearms, essentially what's become very vogue lately is taking a standard stock bolt action rifle and taking it out of the original factory stock and putting it into an aluminum stock. But a lot of these stocks, actually, it's not a stock because it doesn't have the buttstock part that you put up against your face. It just has the chassis, right? And the reason this has come about is because a few years ago, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, most of the manufacturers started doing these entry-level guns, right, to attract new shooters to bolt-action guns. Mossberg did it. Remington did it. Savage did it. Most of anybody who made bolt-action guns are like, what we need to do is we need to come up with a really inexpensive bolt-action rifle to get people to kind of come on into the fold, right? So you can't really skimp on a barrel, all right? You don't want to, and you shouldn't. So you don't cut costs in the barrel. Then your trigger and your action obviously need to be a good trigger and action, because if they're not, then it's going to be garbage and nobody's going to come back, right? So the number one place on a bolt action gun where you can save money and cut costs is stock. So what did they start doing? They started using molded polymer stocks.
You know the best way to cut costs?
What?
With a Dremel.
With a Dremel. So what they did was they, a lot of these companies, they offered rifles with basically plastic stocks, right? Not fiberglass, not hardwood, just injection molded plastic. Now, did they work? Yeah, they worked just fine. Mossberg did it with the ATR 100 series. Savage did it. Remington came out with one. I can't remember what they were calling it. And so people got these guns and they're like, I really like the gun. The action's good. It shoots great. I mean, it's as accurate as I could want it to be, but the stock's kind of cheap. So entrepreneurs came out and they said, ha ha ha, here's what we're going to do for you. MDT, you guys probably have seen, maybe not lately, but pictures of the 6.5 Creedmoor that I did. It was originally a Predator from Mossberg, and it had a polymer stock, which is, there's nothing wrong with the stock.
You got any of that Creedmoor?
I got me some Creedmoor, man.
Got any of that Creedmoor?
Yeah, Creedmoor. And so what I did is I ordered a chassis from MDT, and it's just the aluminum chassis that the action sits in. And then I ordered a stock set, a pistol grip and a stock set from Luth AR. And the smart thing that they're doing is, because everybody knows, or at least you should know, that there are more AR-15 pieces and parts in America today than for any other gun, right? Stocks and, you know, the tubes and all that. You don't need buffers and whatever. It's bolt action, pistol grips and all that jazz, right? Well, Brownells actually has a chassis. It's called the Lss Pistol Chassis, and it's essentially an aluminum chassis. So and it accepts in the butt end, the ass end, I guess you could say, you could put any kind of an AR tube, right? Any kind of a buffer tube in there. And then it also accepts any kind of AR pistol grip. So you get this aluminum chassis. Let's say you are sitting on a Remington 700, 223, 308, 243, I don't care. And maybe it's got an old stock, or it's got a plastic stock, or it's got a whatever. You can actually take that and just drop it right into. And you also might have one that has a blind magazine or a hinged magazine. Well, what these chassis do is they allow you to magazine feed your guns. That's one of the big things I liked about the MDT chassis that I bought for the Creedmoor, is because the rifle that I had essentially what they call a blind magazine. Just fed it from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it held 4 rounds plus 1 or something like that. But with the new chassis, it provides you with a magazine well and then you can use Accuracy International, AICS magazines, they call them AICS. But here's the good news. Who makes AI compatible magazines that are half the cost of the AI magazines? You know them. They make them right here in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Oh, Magpul?
Magpul. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. See, if you go to buy an AI, dedicated AI magazine, the steel ones.
I didn't know they made artificial intelligent magazines.
Yeah. They're proud of them. Accuracy International is proud of their magazines. Go try and buy one right now. You're like, $50 for a 5-shot magazine? Mm-hmm. Yep. So what Magpul did is they said, hey, we can make them just as good for half the cost. And I said, sign me up, brother. That's what I said. Sign me up. So there's a lot of reasons you would want, and you're like, well, why are we talking about this, Paul? Because I'm kind of excited about it. I saw that. I was like, do I need another rifle? I don't necessarily need another rifle. Would I like to have one? Would I like to build one? Maybe. Oh, farts. This product is temporarily out of stock. Click the back order button. I don't want a back order. You guys got me all excited. No. Got me all excited because it's in the sale. Oh, the Howa, the HOWA, the Howa ones are in stock, but the Remington ones are back ordered. Well, farts. So if you've got a Howa, HOWA, you can get one. No, you say, I don't give a crap about bolt actions. I don't care. All right, there's lots of other things you can do. Here's the deal. This is what I want to talk about today on the Brownells bullet points. Building your own gun, assembling, taking pieces and parts and putting them together and making it into a gun is probably one of the most American things you could do. There are people who live on this planet who have been literally forbidden by their masters to do what you can do. As a matter of fact, you are among the few inhabitants of this planet who are, quote, allowed. Because in most countries, you are not allowed. You cannot just order gun parts, assemble them in your own garage, workbench, or whatever, and make a gun. The state forbids it. Do you guys understand? James pointed something out the other day. It was a May, but he said, when the United States goes to war, and we're going to in the very near future, when we have an actual outbreak, he goes, unlike all other conflicts in history where we go and provide aid and comfort, we have been the ones, the United States has always been the ones who we pick a side. And then, Israel, all during the 60s and 70s, we propped Israel up. We sent them Connex boxes full of M16s. We loan leased them the Phantoms, the F4 Phantoms, which they used to very good effect. We've sold them F-16s and Eagles and all that stuff. But in the United States of America, there's no one coming. There aren't going to be, who is the one that always provides the aid and relief? Us. We're the ones. We're the ones that for literally hundreds of years have stepped in and said, we will help you out. Hey, all you Brits listening over there, we saved your bacon twice. You'd be speaking German right now. You might as well be speaking. They might as well be speaking German for as socialist as the government is in England. They're basically Nazis who speak English, who speak screwed up English. I almost said the bad word. Who speak wrong English. We're the ones. This is it. You're like, I thought we were talking about building guns. I am talking about building guns. You, as an American, are one of the few people on planet Earth who can do that. who have the opportunity and the ability to do that. Most every other country in the world, if you tried to do that, the secret police would bust in your door. They would investigate you and arrest you for attempting to illegally manufacture firearms. But you still today, as an American citizen, have the opportunity, the ability, and the freedom to buy pieces and parts and follow the instructions and watch YouTube videos or go to actually take a class. That'd be great if you did that. What was the Desert Institute?
SDI.
Sonoma Desert Institute?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Sonoma Desert Institute, SDI. If you really, really, really want to know how to, mess with guns, you can do that. I don't know if that, there was another company that they sold VHS tapes. And then Jared, do you remember when they converted their VHS tapes to DVD, but they just put the VHS tape in a machine and a DVD in a machine and they just ripped them?
No.
So the DVD actually looked like you were watching a VHS tape.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, I can't remember the name of the company. It was like AGI, the American Gunsmithing Institute. Yeah. They used to advertise these by full page ads in Harris Publications.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they sent me some DVDs, and you could tell that they just put the VHS tape in the machine and ripped the DVDs off of that. Because every once in a while, remember how VHSs would the tracking would get off and you get the line across the screen?
It would happen on the DVD.
Yeah, I'm watching the DVD and all of a sudden that little line would pop up on the screen like,
that's funny.
Call me crazy, but I don't think that's supposed to be there.
I think this DVD's messed up.
And then they had the host who basically was a hypnotist. He could put you to sleep in 5 minutes. And today we're going to talk about the G3, which is an interesting design. Originally was designed in the 1940s, then modified in the 1960s, and then I got a bunch of gun parts in front of me and I was asleep. What's going on? Bless his heart for trying. Bless his heart. It was like Robin Williams said, they played those DVDs for insomniacs that didn't respond to medication. So if you want to be an American, one of the most American things that you can do is actually build your own gun, whether it's a handgun or a rifle, bolt action rifle, semi-automatic rifle, whatever. The fact of the matter is you are one of the few people on planet Earth that has the opportunity and the ability to do that. Most slaves living on Earth can't. If they try, the secret police will bust their door down and arrest them. Think about that for a second. You can go to brownells.com and get all the pieces, parts, accessories, whatever you want to actually live and behave like an American. So that's kind of a cool thing. All right, Duracoat. And once you put it all together, if you bought a bunch of different parts, it's probably going to be a different color, right? Or a bunch of different colors. But you want it to be one color. Or you want it to be camouflage or whatever. It doesn't matter. Go to DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com and get yourself some whatever. Slightly darker black, World War II olive drab. You can get the heavy metal finishes, which are really pretty cool. You can get the anodized finishes. You can get, close your eyes, think of a color, they've got it. They're good people, and they will help you out. SWAT Fuel's got 9mm plus P in stock. If you need a little kick in your rump, go to SWATfuel.com. Use the promo code SOTG. Save some money on 9mm plus P.
Money.
That's the energy formula. That's not ammo, for those of you who just showed up. If I use a discount code,
I mean, it is kind of ammo for your body. But
ammo for your body. All right.
For your brain.
Zach's got something to say.
ShopSOTG.com is the perfect place to go if you are a student of the gun. Whether you want to expand your brain, increase your marksmanship, or help keep your family safe. All that, plus the pimp hand brands that you love. ShopSOTG.com has almost anything that an American patriot would want: education, enlightenment, and entertainment, and we're open 24/7. Check out ShopSOTG.com today and see for yourself.
Yeah, don't take my word for it. See for yourself, freak. Why you call people freaks? It hurts my feelings, and then they don't want to be here anymore. Oh, man, I tell you what. Let's go. I don't think we have anything else to say before the homeroom, do we? Jared, do you have anything else to say before the homeroom?
I don't.
All right, well, fornicate it. Go right into the homeroom. All right. Use the promotional code SOTG when you shop at crossbreedholsters.com. Yes, crossbreedholsters.com. This is sponsors of the homeroom. You go and use the promo code SOTG, then they know that you are paying attention and listening, and that their support of our show is worthwhile. As simple as that. Or they might think you were listening to Mark's show last week.
Yeah.
Back to church. Churches in all but a few communistic, socialistic, run by tyrant scumbags areas, the rest of the country is open, which means your church is open. Now, your church might have been closed for, if you were actually a true believer, you would not have allowed the state to shut your church down. But I'm not going to get into that today. However, you still have the same problem you had a year ago or 2 years ago. We don't want evil people coming into our churches and harming our parishioners, right?
Correct.
Does your church have an actual security team? Well, where we live, people are allowed to carry guns, so some people do. Therefore, that is not a security team.
You got to have organization.
You have to have organization, you have to have communication, you have to have education. And that's what we did. It is dumbfounding to me that we've been doing this for going on 2 years now. And people are saying, what's this, all this churchy stuff you're talking about all of a sudden? It's actually not all of a sudden. We've been doing it for a while. We got if you go to legionofmichael.com, there's a link in the show notes. It takes you to the program. We have a dedicated distance learning program, because I know not everybody is going to drive out here. But it's a dedicated distance learning program. Not only does it tell you what you need to know or help you understand what you need to know about deadly force, use of force, communication, reporting, training, and so forth, it also helps you to organize a team. LegionofMichael.com is where you can go to get the access to that. There's a book as well if you want to grab the book up on Amazon. It's called, ironically enough, Legion of Michael. I know. Protecting houses of worship. Right now, we want to be dangerous on demand. You need to be dangerous on demand. And being dangerous on demand is more than just having a gun. That's part of it. Don't get me wrong. That is part of it, because you don't want to be just, well, if somebody walks in with a rifle, we're going to throw hymnals at him. That's not the way it works. But you just having a gun on your body is not enough. You need more than that. And quite frankly, there are a lot of you out there who are capable and have the abilities. You have the talents, and the question is, are you using the talents to the best of your ability? Did you want to say something, Zarin?
I'm just pulling up the link for the Amazon book. And we've also got the podcast that's completely free for you. If you go to legionofmichael.com, all the podcast episodes are there, but you can also listen to them on the same device you're listening to this on.
Oh, yeah. You can subscribe to the Legion of Michael podcast. It's once a week, comes out on Mondays. Zach posts that so that you can hear it every Monday, and it's available on Amazon Music, iTunes, Play, Google, iHeartRadio, the Listen app, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, all that stuff. So basically, if you're listening to this on a podcast app, then you can listen to the Legion of Michael on a podcast app. There you go. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah, I was actually talking to someone just the other day who said that their governor had allowed them to open their churches. Like, well, that's good.
That's nice.
Glad that you're the king has decided to allow you to go back to living your life. How great is that? How benevolent is that for our masters to give us permission to live our lives? We're so fortunate. So fortunate here in America. Have people that tell us what we're allowed to do.
Well, at least the rules are simple.
Yeah, the rules are simple, do what you're told or face the punishment. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Now on Monday, we talked a little bit about the when I was on with Mark, and he said that the Atlanta police were really upset because guns were being stolen from cars, and they were upset not with the criminals, because criminals just can't help it, and they're just going to do what they're going to do, and we as police officers can't stop the criminals. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus our attention on the victims, and we're going to ask the victims what they did to make that happen.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like, can you imagine that, Jared? Well, if you wouldn't have done that, that wouldn't have happened. If you wouldn't have left a gun in your car, then they wouldn't have been able to break into your car and take it. Imagine if Atlanta police treated the rape victims that way.
Yeah.
Well, if you weren't hanging out in bars at 2:00 in the morning, then you wouldn't get raped. Really? If you wouldn't dress like that, you wouldn't get raped. Can you imagine if the Atlanta police did that? So gun owners are treated, the victims of theft are treated like they're in the wrong. Yeah, I imagine that. Well, it's like that guy out in Portland that got pulled, got out of his car, and the Antifas attacked him and beat him into unconsciousness, and he's in the hospital. And the police, first thing the police asked him was, "What did you do to agitate the situation?" That's cool. It's cool, isn't it? But part of my being who I am, with the experience that I have, why are guns left in cars, Jared? Why are they?
Most of the time it's because they're carrying a gun and they get to a place that has a sign. I've never seen one of those signs before, but I hear reports that they exist in some places.
I've heard reports about these plastic.
Yeah. And so people leave their gun in the car because that's what they're told to do.
Did you see that one sign? There was a meme floating around. It was a picture of a sign that was in apparently a mall or something, and it said, "No firearms prohibited on this property."
Oh yeah, I could be on that.
Like, English, Mother Fletcher. Do you speak it? The English language is so difficult. No firearms prohibited on this.
Like, that's great.
All right. Well, let's rock on then. But yeah, what Jared said is absolutely correct. What you have is gun carriers who aren't really gun carriers. What did Mr. Miyagi say? Karate do yes, okay. Karate do no, okay. Karate do yes, so sooner or later, squish like grape. Boom, right? Walk on left side road, okay. Walk on right side road, okay. Walk middle road, sooner or later, squish like grape. Karate, same way. So you want to add to that?
I was just going to say, I almost gave you the Yoda saying,
You almost
do or do not, there is no try.
Exactly. Or yeah. So we can either go with the two sages of my youth. We can either go with Mr. Miyagi, karate do yes, okay, karate do no, karate do guess so, squish like grape. Or you can do the Yoda, do or do not, there is no try. And that really, when it comes to why guns are being left in cars, it's mental. It's 100%, it's a mindset thing.
Did you know that if you have a gun on your body, you will also have one in your car?
That is true. That is true. And if you have a gun on your body, you'll also have one in your house.
But if you have a gun in your car and not on your body, then you won't have that when you get out of the car.
Yeah. Well, I'm not allowed, Paul.
Now, I have seen some pretty darn slick, like, safe systems that are put into trucks and cars and under seats and stuff, which are pretty dang cool for extra guns, but carry a dang gun.
Well, it's Zach, was it the Tuffy products, Tuffy, that you and I talked to at SHOT the last time we went to a SHOT?
Yeah, where they had in-car gun safes. Yeah, I believe that was Tuffy
Yeah, they have
products.
safes.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff is great if you're traveling for a precision rifle class, like the one that we have in Wyoming coming up in August.
That's
Then
right.
you can put your precision rifle in there and you're good to go. And some ammo. The ammo is probably a little bit more worthwhile to put in there than the gun nowadays. Oh, he's muted.
We lost
Lost his
Dad. Dad, can you hear us?
Thumbs up if you can hear us.
He nodded his head, so I feel. Okay, yep, that's what I thought. And cut. All right, something's wrong. Let me write this time down.
Do you have? Are we cutted? Actually cut?
We're
are
not
we-
cut. Like we're not
are we
off
cutted?
stream. Nope.
Thumbs up if you can hear us.
He clearly can.
He didn't thumbs up though.
Well, yeah, he's stubborn. Up, he disconnected. Hey, where's my up here? It is.
How does that happen? Just lose him in mid, like, I don't know.
I'm scared it might be the board. Because remember this happened the other day?
Yeah.
That would suck if it was the board.
Hello. Can you hear us now? Connecting to audio. Muted, unmuted.
All right, I'm back.
Oh,
Hello,
there you
welcome
are.
back.
We're still live.
Okay, I don't swear, but all right, I don't know where to pick up because
Perfect.
I just said that if you're on,
nothing.
yeah, if you're on your way to the precision rifle class in August this year, we've got one scheduled for this year. And if you are not signed up yet, go to shopsotg.com. But that trip would be a perfect time for one of these in-car gun safes.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm going to say is of all these guns that are being stolen out of vehicles in Atlanta, I'm going to go ahead and be a gambling man, just like Zach, and say none of them are being stolen out of in-car safes.
Mm-hmm.
They're being stolen out of glove compartments,
Right.
or consoles where people just open a console, drop their gun in, open a glove compartment, throw their gun in. That's a no-go. That's a no-go. It should be on your body. And you say, yeah, but Paul, you don't understand, Paul. I can't carry a gun all day long. I can't.
Crossbreedholsters.com, promo code SOTG.
That's right. Yeah, you actually can. There's
It's
a difference
more-
between allowed and able.
I was talking about this with somebody the other day. It's more accessible today than it ever has been in the history of carrying guns, because the holsters are super comfortable. You don't even notice they're on you anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Every once in a while, I have to elbow check to make sure it's there.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
Okay, yeah, it's still there. And that's one thing that I really appreciate. I didn't have to go through what you had to go through finding these different holsters. And I've tried out different holsters here and there just to see what there was, so I can speak intelligently when people ask. But I always fall back to the Crossbreed holster.
Yeah. It's just there's no reason not to, and it goes back to mindset. Are you why did you decide to put a gun on your body and go out your front door? Because you wanted to tell your friends that you do it, or you thought it was cool, or whatever. And if you decided to, you're like, no, Paul, because I understand that I might have to protect myself against unforeseen danger. Okay, then that should be your mindset. Unforeseen danger doesn't disappear because a plastic sign shows up. Oh, no, well, when I go in that building, you're not allowed, and that means that no criminals will come in, and I won't encounter criminals. What? Are you? No, you obviously know that's not true. If I were to, and every one of these businesses that has a sign, if you were to get the owner or the manager or the whatever and have an honest conversation with them, if you could, if you could have an honest conversation and say,
And most of the places you can, at least that I've been to and asked to talk about it.
you say, do you believe that plastic and a lot of times there's vinyl things, it's this vinyl crap that they put on the front door. Do you believe that will prevent a homicidal maniac or a robber from coming into this building and committing crime? Do you believe that? And if they're honest, they'll say, well, no. Okay, then why is that there? Oh, well, because here people have concealed carry and we don't want people to bring guns into the restaurant because it's not safe.
Yeah. And that's one of those things where I'd say probably about 30% of the people that I talked to said, and I don't know if this is true or not because I've never looked into it, but they told me that they got a lower rate on their insurance for the business if they did that because it reduces liability, which I don't think that's actually true.
I think
but I'm not a lawyer and I'm not an insurance salesman, so could totally be. Who knows?
So, but doesn't it? Here's the thing, Jared. Or what is the one big thing they did in Ohio when they passed concealed carry?
Don't know.
The liability went onto the business. Their liability doesn't go down.
Right, and that's what I thought. So I'm like, I don't know if that's true, but if the insurance salesman told you that and you believe it, then that's fine.
Yeah. So if you prohibit me, if you put up a sign, and the signs have to be specifically dedicated, they have to be very specific. You can't. And here's the thing: where we used to live, Jared says he's never seen one of these signs. I've heard about them, whatever. Oh, the custom made vinyl or the custom made placard that says thou shalt not bring a gun in here or whatever. In where every state where I've lived where they've had a shall issue, in the statute it says, okay, if you're a business owner and you want to prohibit people, the sign has to be exactly this size. It has to say exactly these words. That is the magic sign.
And it has to have the statute. I've heard that
it's supposed to have
the statute number.
It has to say Ohio Revised Code, Mississippi Revised Code, whatever. That's the, well, and if they come in with a gun on and you say they have to leave, then they're trespassing and blah, blah, blah. Nothing else is enforceable. Sorry to break your little heart, to make you feel bad, but you're the one you went online and bought, the silver placard or the vinyl thing that you had custom commissioned to put on your door. It means nothing. It holds no weight. And you, my listening audience, need to understand that. Now, in your state, I guarantee you, if you're a shall issue state, they have a very, very specific requirement to prohibit lawful carriers from entering their building. And all it is a trespassing charge anyway. They have the authority to
refuse to leave.
Yeah, if you refuse to leave, then they can charge you with trespassing.
And if they ask you to leave because you're carrying a gun, do you really want to give them your money anyway?
Yeah, you don't reward them by giving them your money. Fornicate them. And give someone else your money.
One thing that's easy, this is easy for us because we've been doing it for a while, right? We've been carrying a gun. Well, you've been carrying it for a long time. I've been carrying it for 10 years now. Dang, I've been carrying for a decade. But it's easy for us because, and then you think back to when we first started carrying, at least this happened to me. I don't know how it is for other people, but when I first started carrying a gun, I thought that everybody could see a tumor popping out the side of my body.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You get what's called burnitis. You have this feeling that everyone knows.
Yeah. It's like everybody just knows inherently. No, nobody knows unless you wear tight clothing or you don't do a good enough job concealing your weapon.
Yeah.
Then people are going to know. But if you're doing a good job at the concealed carry game, you get a crossbreed holster, have generally loose clothing that cover the gun, and you're good to go. Nobody will be any of the wiser.
Yeah. I mean, people say like, oh, well, they'll see like a weird, oddly shaped bump in your clothing and they'll know it's a gun.
Here's the deal.
People don't pay that close attention.
Yeah, I do. If that is the case and they know that it's a gun, then they're probably carrying also.
Yeah. Yeah. You know who notices bumps? other gun
carriers.
carriers.
So carriers, yeah. Most people are just so
Anti-gun
oblivious.
People don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, the I hate guns and guns are scary and guns make me uncomfortable. Those people don't. They don't. I mean, unless you just flat out, you're like, here's my gun, you know. But
yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I know we have a lot of new.
No, you're
carriers
absolutely
listening.
right.
It's easy for us to look back and say, yeah, duh. But when I first started carrying, I had that thing. I was like, everybody knows I'm carrying this thing.
Everyone knows. It's like the fanny pack thing back in the 90s. People are like, everyone, you should never wear a fanny pack because everyone will know that you have a gun. Do you know how many fanny packs there were when I was living in Florida in the 90s? Everyone had one. Like literally every other person. And I don't believe every other person had a gun in it.
I think we should bring fanny packs back.
It was super common. In the 1990s in Florida, waist packs, whatever you want to call them, they're not really, because you don't really carry it over your butt. It's not really a fanny pack, it's a waist pack. Either way, they were super common. And they were so common that nobody noticed. It wasn't like, oh my Lord, look at that guy right there. He has a waist pack on. I bet there's a gun in it. Nobody ever noticed. They were just everywhere. When you came into the state and you stopped at the first rest stop, they said, hey man, you got a fanny pack? And you're like, no, I don't. And they're like, well, here, take this one. And they just handed them out as you cross the border. They're like, take this and put it on. Put that on your body. And here's your sandals. Here's your sandals.
Here's your sandals, your shorts, and your fanny pack, and your
with or
Hawaiian
without
shirt.
socks. It's up to you. We don't care with or without
Please
socks.
don't wear sandals with socks.
And, fanny pack. There you go. Now you're good to go. You're officially a Florida resident. Drive on.
So I tried Crocs on for the first time, and they are super comfortable.
Congratulations. Okay.
Super comfortable.
And then what happened?
And then my wife brought me divorce papers, and so I took them off.
Oh, man. Let me tell you what. So it's the whole gun thing, the Atlanta deal and the so on and so forth. It's a mindset. You need to establish the correct mindset. You need to decide, are you serious about what you're doing? Are you carrying a gun because you genuinely believe that it's your responsibility to protect yourself and your family against unforeseen danger? Or are you just playing a game because you saw a cool thing in a magazine and it seemed cool to you, and you talk about your bros at the gun, at the gun shop, with it, whatever. It's like Mr. Miyagi said, do yes or do no. And Yoda, either do or do not. There's no try. And if you guys are like, well, I put it on, but then I get in my car and I go somewhere and I'm like, I'm not allowed to take it. So I take it off and I stick it there. And then I put it back on and then I go here. And I'm like, oh, I can't go there. So I take it off again. And I just stop carrying a gun.
Yeah. And
oh no, I need to carry a gun. No, you don't, because you're not serious about it. And eventually what's going to happen is you're going to need that gun and you're not going to have it on you, or it's going to be stolen. So get serious.
And when does the likelihood of a gun going off when it's not supposed to, when does that happen? When does it increase?
Every single time you administratively handle your gun.
Yep.
Every single time you play the in and out of the holster game, you increase the likelihood of a negligent discharge. Especially if you're in a car, farting around, in and out, in and out, in and out.
I'd be willing to bet money. We're all gambling men today. I'd be willing to bet money that the reason that if you're one of the people that takes their gun off and leaves it in their car because there's a sign, that you're doing that because you're afraid of something. You're afraid that you're going to get arrested, or you're afraid that somebody's going to harass you in public or something like that. And those are really unfounded fears for if you're concealed carrying, because nobody knows.
You're more afraid of that than you are of dying.
And the worst thing that's going to happen, generally, I don't know what your specific local area laws are, but generally the worst thing that's going to happen is they could ask you to leave, and then you leave. Don't stay there and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And what you should be more afraid of is administratively handling that thing and accidentally making it go pow.
Every time, how many times have we come to this microphone and reported about that guy getting in a car or out of a car, or remember the dude that got tackled in a Walmart parking lot because he got out of his car, reached into his car, picked up his shirt, put his gun on, and a guy saw him do it and then followed him and tackled him, right? Why did he do that? Why didn't the guy already have the gun in the holster covered up anyway? Well, because I don't when I'm in my car, I don't wear it in my car. Why?
People say sometimes it's not comfortable, but I'm telling you, man, I had the Reckoning holster on the other day. It was actually yesterday. I took Ruth on a bike ride. We probably went just short 5-10 miles. It was probably 5 miles. And I had an appendix carry gun on while I was bicycling. And it was not uncomfortable. So you can't tell me that you can't sit in a car and not be comfortable while you're carrying a gun.
Now,
yeah,
I do want to throw out this caveat. As a fat person, carrying on your waist can be extremely uncomfortable and also cumbersome. Like, how many holsters did I break, Dad?
I don't know.
2. I broke at least 2 that I can think of. Before I said eventually just start carrying in my pocket. But I still carry it in my pocket, you know?
Do you carry appendix?
No. That would kill me if I tried to carry appendix.
All right.
But yeah, I'm just throwing that caveat out there.
Yeah. Well, here's, and the thing, a lot of it, people buy these cheap generic crap holsters for $19, and they're like, "Oh, this thing's totally uncomfortable. I can't wear my gun because it's uncomfortable, so I have to take it off." But that's because you bought a $19 holster, and that's what you get for $19. So, whatever.
I think we should stem off of what Zach said and say congratulations to him in public for he changed his eating habits. And what have you lost now, Zach?
I'm currently at 12 pounds down.
You've lost 12 pounds?
12 pounds?
Yeah, I've lost 12 pounds.
Okay, good job.
Good job.
Continue with that.
Continue with that. Keep on the right track. Oh,
I thought the thing happened again.
No. I'm looking at the question. Should we start seeking bigger stuff now, like anti-tank rifles and DDS?
Absolutely, yes.
A doctor of dental surgery? Why would you want a doctor of dental surgery? I mean, it's always good to have a dentist around, like Doogie Howser DDS. But no, I know what I'm not really sure what he's referring to. DDS.
I don't know. I thought it was
every time I've seen DDS capitalized, it's Doctor of Dental Surgery.
I thought it was
J.M. Jones
about
DDS.
Daniel Defense, but I don't know if that's it or not.
Daniel Defense Systems.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I
thought. An anti-tank rifle, they don't really make anti-tank rifles anymore. They made those in World War II. Modern battle tanks just laugh at 50 caliber and 12.7. They laugh at it. They're like, ha, 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 you're funny. But the whole, like, should I have heavy caliber rifles now? Yeah, I don't know what you're waiting for. Like, we've been talking about this stuff for a long, long time, man. What are your thoughts on battle rifles? Like
the brand?
Like battle rifle system, like battle rifle.
We did a battle rifle test.
Is that capitalized
years ago?
Or is that generic? We don't have enough time to talk about that.
Another show.
Yeah, we'll do that on another show. So, but somebody tell me what
you want to talk. You want to talk about that question on the grad program tomorrow?
Sure, we'll talk about it on the grad program tomorrow.
Let's do that. So if you're not part of the grad program, go to getsotg.com. You get your question answered tomorrow in detail.
There you go. And then tell me what you meant by DDS. I'm pretty sure you don't mean dentists.
Diamond Dallas Pate. No, that doesn't work.
No. All right. Cats and kittens.
Destructive devices.
But that would just be a DD. I don't know.
Maybe
come back.
Capital D, lowercase s, like DDs.
I don't know. You're like, duh, Paul, don't you know? I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Congratulations to you for listening to the entire show. Good job. I want you guys all to remember that you are a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.